Ooh, I tell her get low, gon' rock with me. You gon' mess around now and get a shopping spree. I'm now in your possession like apostrophe. Ooh, enough with all the talking, I just told her say less and do more, do more, do more, do more. Ooh, I tell her do more, do more, do more, do more. Go ahead, set the mood right, dirty like a food fight. You been working all day, load it up in 2 nights. Do more, do more, do more, do more. Ooh, I tell her, and she gon' work that round. I'ma mess around and drown when she drop that down. No more phone me blowing up, I like not right now. Oh, I swear that she in next the way she work that mouth. Whoa, automatic cause she move, she be cousin static. I be straight up like an addict, might be coming at it. Now I gotta have it, had enough with all the moves, yeah, move here. Ooh, let me grab it now, I'm on 1 year. Now I'm not done yet, told her wait right here. I'll be back one sec, this is just time out, this is not no way. Go and grab that friend, then you know what's next stage. You been rockin' with an all-star, baby, and I know you coming dirty like a false-star, baby. Packing out the seat, this ain't no hostile, baby, and they know me in the city like a mob star. Ooh, I tell her get low, gon' rock with me. You gon' mess around now and get a shopping spree. I'm now in your possession like apostrophe. Ooh, enough with all the talking, I just told her say less and do more, do more, do more, do more. Ooh, I tell her do more, do more, do more, do more. Go ahead, set the mood right, dirty like a food fight. You been working all day, load it up in 2 nights. Do more, do more, do more, do more. Ooh, I tell her,
Hey yo, Jay, can we get some ratchet one time?
Look, I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the stop, I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peace, you gon' see the flex when you hear these writtens. Trust me, you know the difference. I got a long ways to climb before you see a slippage. I see the process and the journey I'm supposed to be, but perplexed, cause I don't really see nobody close to me. Hopefully this ain't wasted and I know it ain't. You gotta take the time for seasoning to marinate. You need the patience under pressure just to detonate. I'm trying to blow up and these heathens need to get it straight. Gifted with a vision and precision, I'm just trying to make it high key. Might be breaking free like I was Zion in some Nikes. Tucked at the crib, bro, you know just where to find me. Making beats and spitting crack verses pretty likely. Yeah, socks with the burst, boy, I ain't changed a bit. Normal guy till I die, you know what it is. You probably thought I'd give up now that I got some kids, but really now I got these arrows aiming at your ribs. I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the stop, I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peas. Hey, please be on the notice, these my motives. Bought my chicken and it's rotis. You parsimonious, you take it all cause you a locust. My focus is to grow this mission. A visionary, get a dictionary. We here off the rip and we ain't sharing, we just caring. Let me speak it to the manager. We damage her, no you ain't messing with an amateur. I'm ramming, the competition ain't standing up. They fanning from left to right cause now they branded us. Now who that is? Mike Jones, they ain't want me now, they all on me. Got counterfeits trying to play me, I guess they thinking I'm Sony. These big head dummies showing up and out of their character. Homie, you need a price cause without it the squad ain't hearing you. Top of that, we ain't fearing yet. We swinging for the fences with the sting of a left hook that connects with Sonny Liston. I'm dismissing any and all of the disrespect. Nonetheless, it ain't a threat, I'm just letting y'all know who's next. I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the stop, I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peas, you gon' see the...
Coach, what's next for me, Joe? I'm gonna get that second bell, where the f*** is it? They should've had them 2 bells ready, space shine for me.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget it. this ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, don't know what is in me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got the time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command, like, yeah, you about to see me on demand, like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On a roll, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Mafia, oh man, as we looked at on last night's live stream, guys, we have come up to that $102,000 target, which was the start of our very key level of resistance, sitting between that golden pocket and that 786 Fibonacci retracement level. And we did wind up getting that rejection from the golden pocket. Are we about to see Bitcoin flip a bit more bearish here and potentially see one of the more bearish scenarios we've been looking at on the live stream wind up playing out here, which hopefully, guys, oh my God, my chair is already giving me trouble today, guys. I swear, guys, this chair stays up all day long until we go live. My chair just trolls me in front of the live stream only, guys. But as you know, guys, we had that key level on the live stream yesterday. We are getting a pretty harsh dump from that golden pocket. Is this the macro lower high that we've been looking at Are we going to get that bigger drop down towards 90,500 and potentially even lower? I'm going to break down everything in tonight's live stream, guys. We're going to talk about this rejection, some of the chances that we have to potentially get out of here and hopefully not see that lower high come in. But as you guys know, yesterday we were even looking at the potential possibility of putting in that head and shoulders formation before seeing a bigger drop to the downside. And I'll be honest, guys, this was that final boss resistance. I really would have loved to come a little bit higher into that target, but because we're getting this dump to the downside, I want to cover a little bit more of the bearish case here and talk about the chances that we have to potentially get that bigger drop to the downside. Or are we just coming down to get a little bit, to scare the bears? Is it a bear trap? Are we just coming down here to spook everybody before, or spook the bulls? Did I say spook the bears? To spook the bulls before sending this thing back up to higher prices. But as you guys know, I just want to start this live stream off with, even if we do see a bigger drop to the downside and we come down to some of those lower targets, I am still long-term bullish here on Bitcoin, guys. This wouldn't necessarily have to be the end of the bull market. So just understand, if we are going to cover those lower levels, I am not expecting Bitcoin to go to zero. I'm still Bitcoin. I'm still bullish in the long term here, guys. The macro trend is still to the upside, but it does look like we are getting a little bit noise than we would have hoped for to the downside. So we're going to cover everything today, guys. I'm going to show you the lower key levels that we're looking at, and then we'll also talk about kind of the chances that we have. Is it more probable to get that drop to the downside, or come down, put that higher low in, and continue back to the upside? We're going to break it all down for you guys tonight on the Frank Candles live stream. So shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to the CandleMafia. We got Jesse in the chat, said, sinking Frankie. Shout out to Jesse. Yeah, I swear to God, guys, I sit in this chair all day long. I barely move from this spot all day long, and the chair never sinks. It's the second I go live. I think it's because I go full-blown Italian. I go full-blown New York. I just start throwing my hands around. I'm bouncing around on the chair, and then, I don't know, I guess just starts leaking air, and I just start falling to the downside. Kind of like Bitcoin right now. But shout out to the CandleMafia, guys. Let's see. Shout out to Brock. What is going on, Brock? Welcome in. Let's see. Shout out to Brock. Says, I was called weak hands yesterday for taking profits, but was happy because I put those profits into the bank and into altcoins, groceries for another weekend. Let's go. Shout out to Brock. Hey, bro. Hey, if anybody ever calls you weak hands for taking money and paying yourself, I would not listen to anything those people have to say, bro. If anyone's calling you an idiot or anyone kind of puts you down for taking profits, I feel like it's kind of something we see in crypto a lot. Oh, man, you sold. What's wrong with you? Your boy Frankie Candles will never, ever tell you that you're dumb for taking profits. So shout out to you, man. I would don't listen to him, bro. Don't listen to him. If it's money in your pocket, it's money in your pocket. So shout out to Brock. Welcome in. We got Crypto Billy, Rob the Crypto Stop, Chemistry, bro. We got Tyler Durden, D Petty. You guys know who all the mods are, guys. Drop some love for them in the chat. Thank you guys so much for being here, and thank you for all you do for the channel. Let's see. Tyler Durden said, you sold? What's wrong with you? Shout out to Tyler Durden. Tyler, I can't just sell without consulting you, bro. Shout out to Tyler Durden. But yeah, who else we got in here today? We got let's see. Hey, yo, shout out to Brock. We got Cuz I Can Bump It, or Koozie Can, as I like to call him, guys. We got the Super U in the cup here for some energy and focus here on the charts. We got SA in the chat, says it's gonna go down further. We're gonna talk about some of those lower targets here. I'm gonna break down everything for you guys. Darren Does Things checking in, reporting for duty. What is going on, bro? Said Tyler, you held. What's wrong with you? Shout out to Darren Does Things. We got Andrew in the chat. What is going on, bro? Welcome in. Let's see. We got Jesse. He is our like police, guys. Don't forget to smash that like button. Every 100 likes we get gives you guys some free chances to win some free Solana. If we hit 1,000 likes on tonight's live stream, we will be giving away $100 in Solana on Friday's live stream. And if we hit those multiple times this week, we hit these like goals, we will add them all up and give away a whole large chunk of Solana. Maybe break it up amongst the Mafia, or maybe give it to one lucky CandleMafia member. We'll let you guys decide that. But with all that being said, guys, we got a lot to look at here on the charts. So shout out to DJ. Shout out to Still Working C7. We got Victor in the chat. We got Bernardo Barros. Shout out to you. Said sup Mafia. We got let's see, ADR in the chat. We got Slurp. What is going on? He said everything's going to zero. Shout out to Slurp. I hope not, bro. I hope not. But hopefully the charts can give you guys a little bit of a peace of mind. We got Goldavelli in the chat. Good to see you, bro. Felix. And let's see, last but not least, we got Zappo Master. Shout out to you, bro. Say hello to the Rukos clan. I don't know what that is, but shout out to Zappos. What is going on? And we got Frenky with a Frenky. What is going on, bro? And Jay Violet reporting for duty. Gen Z in the chat as well. God, we got everybody in the chat tonight, guys. Bitcoin dumps down, and we got the whole mafia here. But let's go ahead. I'm gonna break down these charts for you guys, and hopefully give you some peace of mind, or maybe scare the heck out of you. I don't know. Let's get into it. So here we are on the Bitcoin chart, guys, and as you know, if you tuned into yesterday's live stream, you guys will know, if I come on over here to the daily time frame, we were approaching, well, number one, it all kind of started on Friday, right, where we were looking for a potential move up into the $102,000 target. And that target, guys, was coming in on this Fibonacci retracement, pulled from the absolute all-time high all the way to our local low here. And this is what gave us that $102,000 target for price to come up into over the weekend. Hopefully, that's what we were looking for. We didn't know if it was guaranteed or not, but we were looking for price to run up into that $102,000 level where we had our main volume profile. We were starting to flip that POC of the range, which naturally makes us anticipate and move into the value area high. And because we had that key Fibonacci level above, we said, hey, but with the way the volume profiles work, guys, when you get those deviations above the high into a key level of resistance, that is where we start to look for shorts, right? So when when we look at the charts here, I know a lot of people have been asking me about the weekly bearish divergence, the monthly red dot that is somewhat close to printing here. Now, this may take a little bit of time to kind of work itself out, but a lot of people have been worried about that monthly red dot, the weekly bearish divergence, which we've covered many a times, higher highs on our price action, lower highs on our momentum waves, and that is now confirmed, right? But when we look at this, right, and we ever since we got this harsh rejection from about $108,000, we were looking at this major Fibonacci retracement from the golden pocket to the 786, because if we are going to continue a much larger downtrend, because you guys know we have some of those lower targets that we've been looking at. If I pull up our main range once again, you guys can see we do have some lower targets here down at about $82,000 to $80,000 on this golden pocket. We'll bring these levels up in just a second. We'll cover the lower targets. But again, I'm not necessarily anticipating that, at least as of right now, but I'm going to show you a little bit more of the bearish scenario and why it's not impossible to get down there. But I will just say, golden pocket 786 was that target for the $102,000 Bitcoin to come in, and we know that this Fibonacci retracement between the golden pocket and 786 is typically where we are going to have a high probability to get that lower high to come in. And in a downtrend, you have the highs, the lows, the lower highs, and then you will likely break structure to the downside. And the fact that we are getting this harsh rejection from this golden pocket, guys, I will say, isn't really the best sign. Now, we do have some local support levels that I am willing to take some stabs at for long positions to potentially get another bounce to the upside. But I will be honest, we have to start being very careful, because yesterday we were also looking at the idea that we could potentially form somewhat of a head and shoulders here, which again is not, patterns are not something that I just look at on the chart and trade based off of. It's more of a way to describe price action for me. But because we've come up and put in that rejection here at the golden pocket. And guys, we don't know, right? We don't know. There's no way to really tell. We obviously know that the golden pocket 786 is the high probability area too. If we're going to put in a lower high, we know it's likely to come in at that golden pocket 786, especially when it is the full retracement level. This is why I was calling this kind of the final boss level, right? In order to see Bitcoin break off into new all-time highs, we had to get above that 786, even though we still have a little bit of resistance above that. But once you get above that 786, it invalidates the idea of that lower high. But here we are, getting a harsh rejection from that golden pocket. And although we know that the lower high is likely to come in at this golden pocket 786, we don't know if it's going to get the rejection from the golden pocket or if we're going to wake up and tap that 786 first. And I will say, last night, guys, there was no bearish confirmations here to look for a short position. And if you watch the market update, you'll know what I'm about to talk about. Literally, guys, last night I did have family visiting. So we were actually, right after I got off the live stream, I literally got up and walked away from my desk. And I think I ended the live stream at like 7 o'clock almost. And the second I got up, we actually wound up coming in and putting one of the bearish confirmations that we talked about on the live stream in here at the golden pocket. Because during the live stream, I'm sitting here and there were no bearish divergences. There were no SFPs. There was really no bearish signal here to take that short position just yet, because you guys know I wait for price to come up into these traps, and I only take the trades if I get those confirmations. And there were really no confirmations there. Literally, I get up from the chart here, guys. We put in the bearish divergences and to get an SFP of the wick high here at about 102,500, giving us two major entry confirmations to enter a short. I was not at the charts, and price did wind up getting that SFP and getting the bigger drop to the downside. Obviously, not tripping about this, guys. Obviously, there's going to be a million other opportunities, and I am still holding my short from $106,000, so I am still short from 106K. But it's just beautiful. I really wish that I was at the charts here, because it's just beautiful, right? We come into that golden pocket. We know this could be the lower high, and we did get, like, as I always say, guys, I don't like to look for long positions as price comes up, right? Just like I don't like, when I get those long positions, I like to be in from, typically, I'm in from an area of consolidation before the move up starts. And this is the same way I like to enter my shorts, right? I let price come up. I'm enjoying those those gains coming from our long position in the premium Discord, right? And then we come up here, we start to wiggle sideways, and this is exactly what I like to see. And this is what we were talking about yesterday, how we like to see this little consolidation to give us a little bit of context into where we can look for our next trades, right? Because now we have a volume profile. We know if we deviate above this high, and especially if you get a swing failure pattern, like I just said, right? You actually came up and swept these highs perfectly with a beautiful SFP and your bearish extra confirmation here with those bearish divergences on many of the lower time frames. This is the 10-minute, but we had it on the 30-minute. We had it on the 15-minute. But here, you could say to yourself, well, hey, we're deviating above the value area high. We have 2 bearish confirmations. You can then look to take that trade down to the value area low, locking in some profits, and then holding a portion of that position for the bigger drop to the downside. And unfortunately, I am just sitting out of that position. But again, I am still short from $108,000, so I'm not missing out completely. But it would have been really, really nice to just show you guys that live. But either way, we know this is the key level of a resistance that we could potentially put that lower high in at, and we did get a pretty strong drop to the downside. Now, the reason I don't love the way this looks is, number one, what we were looking at yesterday with this somewhat of a head and shoulders formation, which could be somewhat of a local top situation, right, or a local top signal. Now, again, I'm not trading based off this head and shoulders, but I am just saying, in hindsight, this is looking a little head and shoulders-y, right? And if we do continue down, I do want to reiterate, guys, I am bullish on Bitcoin going into 2025. I'm totally open to bigger pullbacks here, and as you guys know, every time I bring up those lower targets, everyone gets super scared. They're like, no, Frankie, why are you looking at those lower targets? Come on, it's a bull market. But this is, I always bring up these lower targets, guys. It doesn't mean that we're guaranteed to go there, but I want you guys to be aware of where the support levels are in case we do get that bigger drop, and we could potentially be putting in this right shoulder. And again, I just can't stress enough, guys, the power of these full Fibonacci retracement levels, and just the idea that this is where we're expecting the lower highs to come in at. So the fact that this is such a significant level, the fact that this was a pretty aggressive drop to the downside, and a couple of other things that I'm going to bring up here based off of our volume profile from up here, there is a possibility, right, that we do still have some work to do if we get down lower, but I will say there is a situation here where we could see things get a little bit bearish and potentially come down to some lower targets, and I want to talk about them because if we pull up our major volume profile here, guys, as you know, when we trade these ranges, like we were talking about last night on the live stream, you guys know I simply look at price in terms of ranges, or more specifically in terms of volume profiles. We rip above that value area high. This is where we look at price here as an overvalued asset, and this is why we like to look for bearish confirmations up here in order to potentially take a ride back down, get stuck into our value area below, right? And once you get stuck under that value area high, we know that the next likely place for price to go is going to be where? Somebody put it in the chat. It's Creighton C here. Creighton C always knows the answer to this question. I think a lot of people in the chat probably also know the answer to the question. But, the idea here is, hey, you get the bearish confirmations. We did wind up getting it, right? You get the drop to the downside. Once you get stuck underneath this value area high, which you guys can see, we literally tried to get back out of here. We were like, come on, let us out. We get accepted back in, and we know the next likely place for price to go is going to be that POC of the range. And there is a very specific level I'm looking at down here for potential new long positions, guys, where I'm going to be looking for some bounces, some bullish confirmations. But again, I am going to cover the longer term, more bearish situation, right? Because if we do see this be the macro lower high that we were looking at yesterday, it could wind up giving us a bigger drop to the downside. However, we're going to go over the kind of the less bearish case first, right? I don't want to start the live stream off scaring everybody right away. Let's see. Hey, shout out to F1. Thank you so much for the super chat, bro. I appreciate you very much. Shout out to you, bro. He says, first super chat and new Mafia member. Thanks for what you do. Hey, shout out to F1. Looks like you were looking out for that lower high potentially on the live stream last night. Shout out to F1, bro. Welcome in. Welcome to the CandleMafia, and thank you for being here. And thank you for the super chat, bro. I appreciate the support. And if you don't want to spend money on a super chat to support the channel, guys, please smash that like button. We don't ask that you guys send super chats, but I will ask you to hit the like button. It's 100% free and the easiest and best way to help push this content out to more people. And plus, if we get 1,000 likes on tonight's live stream, we're going to be giving away $100 in Solana. So smash that like button. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see. Name says 67K. Some months from now, it's my buy target. Shout out to Name. I do have some lower targets. I don't have lower targets, at least as of right now, that low. If we start breaking some key market structure, we start breaking some key levels, maybe we can reassess the situation once we get down lower. I'm going to show some lower targets. I'm not looking quite that low, at least as of yet, but I will show you my lower targets in just a second. But right now, guys, very simply put, I don't want to overcomplicate things. We deviated above the volume profile. We came into our key $102,000 target. We put the bearish confirmations, and it is hard for me to remember, guys. I do the premium live stream in the morning or during in the early afternoon, and then I do this live stream at 5:45. And I'm pretty sure we talked about the actual confirmations. I kind of just talked about it, dropping some free sauce here on the YouTube channel, talking about the bearish confirmations we were going to be looking at, waiting for that little mini range to form with a bearish divergence and a potential SFP. Wanted to drop a little bit of a freebie here. I don't know if it was in the market update, the live stream, but we simply deviated above. We hit our $102,000 targets. We put those confirmations in. We got the drop below the value area high, and we saw price. And this just goes to show how reliable the volume profiles can be, guys. You get stuck under the range. You can't get back above. This is where you're looking for price to go back down to the POC of the range. And simply put, now we are potentially starting to lose this key level. Now, you guys know yesterday the key levels down below that we were looking at, if we started to get a rejection from here, we were looking at some very, very key levels of support. And to be honest, the first major level of support was this anchor VWAP and point of control, right? And right now, we are potentially starting to lose these as support. If we come up and start bearishly retesting this stuff, and this is going to continue down in an aggressive manner, we may just wind up flipping these levels to resistance, and then finally getting the bigger drop to the downside, eventually coming down to about 90,500, which again, guys, from a very simple kind of point of view, we're just simply looking at the volume profile. Deviate above the high, get sucked back into the range, look for price to go to the POC, can't get back above that POC, we're going to be looking down towards that value area low. And this could be the kind of medium-term eventual target before seeing some of these more potentially super, super bearish cases come in. And I will touch on these lightly. We are still pretty far away, so keep that in mind. And again, I'm not super bearish on Bitcoin. Just because we're getting this pullback does not mean I am mega bearish on Bitcoin. This, as of right now, is a pullback and does have an opportunity to bounce. But with the in terms of the volume profile, we are definite, and the fact that this was a macro golden pocket retracement and that we're getting this strong drop to the downside, I just don't want to count out the bearish scenario here. So just keep that in mind. But either way, even if we see that bearish case play out, we come down to 82K, this is not bull market over for me, right? I am not looking at $82,000 to $80,000 to call for the end of the bull market, right? A lot of people are going to get shaken out if we come down here. If, right? Strong if. But a lot of people are going to get shaken out. This is not what would freak me out, guys. Even if we came a little bit lower to our second level of support, and I'm going to show you all the confluence we have on these levels, even if we came lower to the $76,000 to $75,000 zone, I'm getting a little bit more worried at this point, at that point. But even then, there is still a good opportunity to get a bounce to the upside. And then we start breaking down below there. Maybe we're going to have to reassess the situation, and I probably would be flipping a little bit more bearish in the long term. But as of right now, long term, just remember, guys, I know this dump was a little bit scary, but zoom out, right? Remember what happened. We saw this big drop to the downside. Everybody was saying, Frankie, is this the bear market? And then we bounce all the way back up here, right? So just understand, if you're panicking right now, just zoom out, right? Like nothing really that crazy has happened, and we're on the 4-hour time frame. You come up to the daily, and you can't even really see these red candles, right? Like we are obviously in a massive uptrend. So I am bullish on Bitcoin, but we are traders, so we have to find all these key levels locally and try to figure out each move because we could profit whether price goes up or down, right? So in the grand scheme of things, longer term, we deviate above the profile. We got back down to the POC once we got accepted into the value area high. If we lose this POC, we may be able to start our journey down closer to about 90,000 to 90,500. That is the overall kind of context here, right? If I hide that more macro range, right, and we pull up our local range, this has been updated, right? I have moved this volume profile a little bit to the right because the reason for that, right? I get questions all the time, guys. Frankie, how do you pull your volume profiles? How do you know what candle to pull them from? And although this is like a very complicated answer, and it's honestly, there really is no right or wrong way to do it technically because the volume profiles give you levels based off the actual volume traded. This is why I love this tool so much. But when I pull my volume profiles, I like to pull them over balanced price action, right? Because the way I trade these is I look to trade them based off fair value. The fair value is inside of where price is ranging, right? So as we deviated below this value area low and then got our move all the way back up to the value area high, we can then say, well, hey, we got to move from the low to the high, back to the low, back to the high, back to the low, back to the high, right? And then we imbalanced and exploded out of this range. So what I did here, as this is now considered, in my opinion, part of the balanced price action, mentioned, I've extended this volume profile. And the reason I'm saying this is because this has changed since our last levels that we looked at. I extended this right up until here, right before we expanded out of this volume profile. And this does change our levels slightly. And we do have some nice confluence down below. And I'm going to show you this. Some of these levels are pretty saucy. And we'll go over the higher time frames, but these are the local levels, right? We broke out of the value area. We got the rejection from the golden pocket. We got back stuck into this local volume profile, and now we could be potentially on our way back down to this value area low. This is a major, major key level of support that I'm going to be looking at for multiple different reasons, right? We have the golden pocket retracement. This golden pocket is, let me go ahead and see if I can go ahead and grab this, right? This is the golden pocket, or 786 golden pocket retracement from this absolute low all the way to the high, right? So we have our golden pocket, also in line with the point of control of this range. And if I pull up some of these daily naked points of controls and weekly naked points of controls, you can see here we do have a tapped daily naked point of control as well as a weekly naked point of control, which you could almost barely see here. But there is confluence with these naked points of controls sitting in between this golden pocket and POC. So if we come down here, guys, this is the local context, right? I am open to potentially looking for bounces here for little scalp longs. And if we lose that golden pocket, I will be looking to come down to this value area low, sitting at about 94,000. Again, there is a lot more confluence on this golden pocket, but again, if we don't hold these naked points of control / golden pocket, we could look down to that value area low where we do have that 786 Fibonacci retracement level, which could be kind of a secondary zone. Once we start losing this level at about 93,700, this is probably going to be where I'm turning off those local ranges, right? And I'm pulling up that macro profile saying, hey, we're probably, right, and I'll turn these on at the same time so you can kind of see where these ranges are within each other, right? This is just a local range when I'm looking for the shorter term price action. Once we lose that 786, we're just going to turn this off and be like, well, hey, you know, really what we're trying to do here with these local levels is front run, you know, because from a volume profile perspective on the higher time frames here, right, we deviated from the high. This is what we looked at yesterday. Get sucked back into the range, go to the POC, which again is sitting right here, right? Once you lose the POC, you just look to go down to that value area low. But if we are going to kind of just yeet out of here in a bull market fashion, right, we could potentially front run that value area low, right? So that's why I'm looking at these local levels of support. Maybe it happens at the golden pocket. I did not mean to draw that line that perfectly, but maybe it comes in at the golden pocket, maybe the 786. I would call these kind of the last level, kind of last resort levels of support. These are important, guys. Get these on your chart, right? This is 95,665, 95,286 is that first zone, and then the second zone between the value area low and 786 is sitting between 94,260 and 93,730. If we lose that 786, at that point, I'm going to be expecting turning off these local ranges and being like, well, you know what? It looks like we are just on our journey back down to the macro value area low after losing that POC, right? And these are the major levels. You can see that weekly naked point of control. Let me actually see something here, guys, because it does say tapped daily naked point of control. Is this a tapped naked point of control? I may leave this on. Let me pull up XO charts really quickly, and let me just check on this NPOC. What is this? 95,527. And this is indeed tapped. Okay. I will leave it in case we do want to flip this to support. So I will leave this here. But the weekly naked point of control is untapped, right? So this is a fresh weekly naked point of control, right? And if I hide the main range, we'll just bring up the local ranges one more time. So make sure you have these levels on your chart. Golden pocket, POC, weekly naked point of control, sitting between 95,665 and 95,286. Lose that, we're coming down here. That's our last chance, right? Once we lose that, I am simply going to be looking for that bigger move down to about 90,500. And you might be saying to yourself, Frankie, what happens if we don't hold that, right? Well, and I'm actually going to change this level a little bit. I am hesitant to take this tapped daily naked point of control off the chart. This has been tapped a few times, so I'm just going to go ahead and hide it for now. But I do just kind of want to move this blue zone down a little bit because that naked point of control is there, but it being tapped so much, I'm not really looking at it as a key level anymore. So again, like value area high of the macro range sitting at about 100,800, POC sitting at 97,350, right? That's been the same level forever. And then the value area low coming in at about, I would call it 90,700 all the way down to this fresh daily horizontal level that we have down at about 89,900 and $9. 89,909, right? So those are the macro levels. That's the longer term. That's kind of like longer term stuff, right? And again, last level of resort, one more time, get it on your chart. 786 daily sitting here. Well, I guess, yeah, 786 daily, 786 coming in at 93.7, and then that fresh daily underneath you, 92.635, right? I'll be honest. I really would just rather hold this golden pocket. If we start coming down here, we may just lose to those lower levels of support in the long term. But those are kind of the local macro levels. Main range still remains the same here. Like my stance doesn't really change here, guys, right? We rode this long position up for massive profit into the $102,000 long, right? Or $102,000 target. Now we got those bearish confirmations. It was a deviation above our volume profile. We are simply, in the grand scheme of things, unless we see something crazy happen down here on the next key levels of support that we have locally, I'm simply looking at this as a deviation above, acceptance back into the range, POC, can't get above the POC. We may just be starting our journey down to these lower targets, right? Now, if it gets super ugly, again, I'm not expecting this to happen tomorrow or the next day. Like I said, nothing really that crazy has happened just yet. But the fact that we got that strong rejection from that level that could be a macro lower high, I do want to bring up the more bearish case here, right? So number one, on the daily, we got that daily red dot about to print, right? Daily VWAP is on its way down. You see that VWAP on its way down right now. On top of that, our money flow is kind of trending to the downside, right? Like just from a binary perspective, information, like just the data here says that money flow is trending down. That is pretty much just a bearish signal, right? Now, especially with the VWAP coming down here. If we have the VWAP coming up, maybe we could look for a fake out. So, this doesn't, daily money flow coming out, VWAP coming down. If we print that red dot on the daily, it may be the thing to give us that bigger drop down towards about 90,500 if we're going to get that big drop. And then on top of that, if we come on down to the lower time frames, 90-minute money flow, obviously crossing over or looking to cross over into the red here. We are printing a green dot. So I would hope for some kind of retracement here. I will be looking for fresh short positions, guys. Let me see if I can pull up. So I am still in my short position over here on FEMEX, guys. And it is, can you guys see this? Let me just make sure you guys can actually see this. Okay, yeah. So yeah, this is up $2,000. I already taken a bunch of profit off this. I already have about $2,700 locked in. Still up $2,000 in profit unrealized. And I am going to continue to hold this, right? Like this is kind of the case that I have been talking about forever, right? I'm going to hold that short position. I have the profits locked in. If I get stopped out, I will get stopped out at break even. And so this is a guaranteed winning trade for me. But I am going to try to either wait for a retracement back to the upside to either add to this position or even potentially open some new short positions as well. And I'm going to talk about the key levels of resistance I may be looking at for that. But still in this short, right? So if we do dump from here, I am short from $106,000, which, isn't too shabby, right? So I'm not really worried about missing the move at all. Although it really would have just been real nice to catch that tippy top because I would have been entering off this SFP, which would have given me a really nice entry. But again, you're going to get these setups to happen. If you miss this move, right, you could have caught this move. If you move this move, you might be able to catch the next move, right? As a trader, guys, you don't want to be chasing trades, right? I am not chasing a short position here. When I see this already dumped, I am not FOMOing into short positions. Even if it were to continue down, I don't feel bad about not forcing trades, right? I like to take trades that are in profit and have high probabilities of playing out in our favor, right? I don't just like gambling out. Think about this, right? You get the move to the upside, you FOMO into longs, and you get dumped on, right? This is not the situation you want to be in, and it is totally okay to sit on your hands and wait for the next setup. Luckily, I am still in my long and my short, right, with profits locked in on both of them. But 90-minute money flow could be the thing here, guys. 90-minute money flow coming into the zero line, looking for a crossover into the red. Once that money flow crosses over into the red, that could be the potential, right, whether we come back up for a little retracement, and I'll talk about some key levels I'm looking at locally for some scalps, but if we get that retracement, hopefully we can, because I would need some kind of more of a significant retracement to look for a short position. I am not FOMOing in at the bottom of these red candles, sorry. But once that 90-minute money flow crosses over into the red, if we're printing that red dot at the same time, guys, that 90-minute money flow crossover could potentially be the thing to create that bigger move to the downside. Now, on top of that, not only do we have the daily red dot about to print, but if we pull up our Heikinashi candles here, guys, which, by the way, Market Cipher B, I believe, is designed for Heikinashi candles. But if we pull this up, come on over to our 16-hour time frame. You guys can see 16-hour red dot is printing with our 12-hour red dot as well, sitting here in all of its glory. And you guys know when you see that 16-hour red dot, when you see that 12-hour red dot, we like to go down to the 45-minute money flow as well as the 1-hour money flow. And we like to look for these to cross over into the red. And you can see here, 1-hour money flow crossed over into the red. It's trying to pop back into the green, but overall, this money flow is coming out, and your 4-hour money flow is also crossed over into the red with your VWAP sitting up here as well. So if this money flow on the 45-minute and the 1 hour continue into the red, guys, these would indicate that the downtrend is more likely to continue and potentially, right, maybe we get a retracement, but if that money flow continues out, we may be able to see that continuation of the downtrend. But so those are the things, 45-minute, 1 hour, and 90-minute money flows crossing into the red. More specifically for the bigger signal, money flow on the 90-minute crossing into the red with the daily red dot would be a pretty clear thing, right, that I would anticipate the downtrend to continue based off of, right? Like you can see here, back when we had our last big rejection from $108,000, we got a big drop, little retracement, a big drop, and then once this 90-minute money flow crossed over into the red, which I can only assume was probably right on top of a daily red dot, and you can see it right here directly on that daily red dot, and what happens, right? What happens here? That 90-minute money flow crosses over into the red, and you get a lower high, a lower low, a lower high. Not really a lower low, but you put in another lower high and then put in your lower low, right? So that downtrend does continue. And that could be something that we see happen very similarly here where we are right now. So I will be looking at that 90-minute money flow to see that continuation down with the confluence on those very specific higher time frame red dots on Market Cipher B, right? So we'll see. If this bearish case plays out, that 90-minute continues down, we might just see something similar to what we had back here, right? You get down, you get a little retracement, that money flow stays in the red. It gives us a continuation of that trend down to our value area low. And those are the simple levels. If you're not here scalping the lower levels, trying to look for your longs on these Fibonacci retracements, which again are in confluence with, which again is a confluence with our daily naked point of control and weekly naked point of control, as well as our local levels here. If you're not looking for those little scalp positions here to try to catch longs here or longs here, just understand these are your major levels that you're going to be looking at. Lose this POC at about 97.4, 97.350. Get stuck under here. We might be able to start that journey back to lower prices. Once we start losing the 786, I'll be honest, guys, I'm going to cross this bridge when we get there because in my opinion, personally, sure, we could look at this as like a hypothetical, right? If this is going to be our head and shoulders, right, and this is going to create a much bigger downtrend to $82,000 to $80,000, that is potentially something that could happen here, based off the fact that we rejected this full golden pocket 786 retracement. But at this point, I'm not looking down to $82,000 because we're losing this POC. Because remember, not only do we have our local levels of support, but we also have our, just basic volume profile here. Right, so it's not really until we wind up losing this daily at about 87.4 that I would be looking down towards $82,000. But please just understand, guys, if we wind up seeing this daily money flow continue down, right? Maybe that red dot prints, we get that 90-minute money flow to cross over, right? And then as that 90 minutes dragging us down here, if this money flow on the daily comes to the downside, like that's a bad sign, right? In a bull market, oftentimes we don't see money flow stay in the red for very long. So maybe we fake out into the red and come back up into the green really quickly. But just from a binary perspective, this money flow coming out is not the best sign. It is a little bit of a difficult situation. I've been saying this basically the entire time we've been getting these big rips to the upside. Anytime your daily money flow comes to the downside in a bull market, right, especially when you're in an aggressive uptrend, like you don't really hang out in the red very much, right? You fake out into the red here, back into the green. We were able to predict this situation just based off my experience looking at Market Cipher B. Even here, right, price comes to the, where is it? Right here. Price starts kind of getting a little pullback, right? Money flow comes into the red, fakes right out back into the green, and you get that continuation to the upside. So just keep that in mind, and then we kind of went sideways here, kind of grinded down. We spent some time in the red. Everyone thought this was the bear market, but obviously, strong uptrend here, guys, right? Like nothing is like scary has happened yet, like even on this, right? It's crazy, right? We dumped down to $91,000 right into the $91,000 zone, and everyone thinks it's a bear market, and now everybody's super scared off this pullback that we got from the golden pocket. But really what is important here, guys, is the context, right? Really the only thing that I would be alarmed at here, in my own personal opinion, is the fact that we rejected the full golden pocket retracement, right? And again, we didn't know if that was going to come in at the golden pocket or the 786, but it does look like we wound up getting, and I'll be honest, guys, last night, like I kind of thought, at least, I kind of left the charts yesterday pretty confident, right? Because we're sitting here, I'm on the live stream, like there's no real bearish confirmations here. No reason for me to take the short. Literally get up. This must have happened, like when did this actually happen? I'm actually curious. Because it literally must have happened at like minutes after I walked away from my chart. Because I believe, like we ended the stream, I think at like 7 o'clock, maybe 7:10. And then this wick literally came up at 7:35. Like it's crazy. This is, at that point, right, I kind of thought there would have been a little bit more of a higher probability of coming into the 786 because there were no bearish confirmations. And then literally a few minutes later, we got that bearish confirmation. it is what it is, right? We're getting that move to the downside, and it definitely is a key level that we need to get above, right? Now, if we don't get a super dump to the downside, if we do put those higher lows in at our local levels here, right? Let's say maybe we come down, maybe we test that golden pocket, put in a higher low, and we do come up to these levels, that 786 is still the major level to get above to see potential breaks of our current all-time high. That is coming in at $104,684. And just like we were looking for shorts here, right, we are going to be looking for shorts when we get up to that 786 as well, right? Because we don't know what's going to happen, right? We didn't know if we were going to come up to that 786 or dump from here. Same thing here, right? If we wind up getting a higher low to come in, maybe we get another push up into that 786. I will be looking for shorts here as well. Just to maybe catch, a small pullback before continuing up, or maybe short the top before the big drop. But I will say here, guys, the 90-minute money flow with the daily red dot is kind of make me feel a little bit more bearish today. Right now, this could change tomorrow depending on what happens. But this money flow coming out at the same time as the red dot is not really the best look. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully we can get a retracement. If we get a retracement, what am I going to be looking at? I want to break it down really simply for you guys. Again, I am looking at this as a very simple volume profile. So if we do pull back, there are some key levels that I'm going to be looking at, not just to take shorts, but to potentially start to look for confirmations. Again, if we came up here and we did not get any bearish confirmations, now again, I want to be fully transparent. I did not take this trade, unfortunately, but the only reason I would take this trade is if I see the confirmation. If this confirmation did not happen and we still got the dump to the downside, I probably wouldn't have taken the trade, and I just let price go, right? I don't take trades without actual confirmation, and this is extremely important, right? But if we come back up, guys, there are some very key levels that I'm going to be looking at to look for some potential short positions, right? Now, again, I'm not going to give the exact confirmations I'm looking for, but I do want to cover some of the key levels, right? So number one, and these are some pretty local levels, so just keep this in mind. But I'm going to pull this little local volume profile, which is somewhat speculative here, but this is definitely going to be an area of fair value that I'm watching. If I pull up, I'll mark the levels for you: value area low, POC, value area high. We do have, right, at this point, locally, we could look at this, right, if we do get a retracement. Now, remember, if we pull up our major zone here again, this anchored VWAP and POC, right? Let me mark this out. I'm actually going to write this as range POC, right? And then I will grab that and put it into our main folder. But this is our anchored VWAP, value area low, POC of the range. So again, could we just come up, and if we're just going to dump here, right, we might not be able to get above this level. Maybe the anchored VWAP chokes us back down and we get a bigger push down. But if we could get back above here and push up into this POC and potentially into this value area high, we have some nice anchored VWAP confluence here on top of that value area high. This is sitting at about $98,675, and this will probably be the first area where I will be looking for potential short positions, right? Because it is in the context of the volume profile. We get above that low, we push into the POC, and then we wind up getting above that POC, pushing into the high. Maybe at this point we kind of deviate, right? That's where we're going to be looking for our little mini range, look for those confirmations, which are oftentimes, starting off with bearish divergences. Obviously, it's going to change trade to trade. Every confirmation is going to be a little bit different, but at that point, we'll see this as a local deviation for a potential scalp position back down to the POC and the low, and then hopefully, if that overall downtrend continues, I will be looking, again, that is going to be the area that I'm looking for shorts to potentially catch a new trade or a new short position back down to lower prices. And if we don't get that, or we miss the position or something like that, like I said, I am still short from $106,000, so I will just enjoy those continued gains as we drip to the downside. But that is what we're looking at here, guys. Let me pull up chat real quick. I missed the chat. Let's see. How does the SPX fit into your analysis? It seems that it is the important catalyst that always determines whether BTC can pump or fail. Yeah. Shout out to who said that? Shout out to Ark. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you for saying that because it's very important, and I'm going to be dropping my 2025 video tomorrow, guys. I think I'm going to drop it early. We might drop it at like 9:30 a.m. But if we do, in that video, right, I do talk about the significance of the SPY, the SPY's correlation with Bitcoin, right? Everybody talks about the 4-year cycle. Everybody talks about the halving cycle. Oh my God, the halving comes. It causes a supply shock. Bitcoin rips. That's the bull market. Now, obviously, this has played out pretty well so far, right? Every cycle has its little quirk. We talk about this all the time. Every cycle is a little bit different, but for the most part, like this one, we put our all-time high in technically before the we actually put an all-time high in the year of the halving, which is there's a few different things that are a little bit weird about this cycle, but that kind of happens in every cycle, right? If I pull up the Bitstamp chart here, we have kind of a double top in 2021. Then here in 2017, we had the blow off top, right? We obviously had the 2020 situation here in that cycle. So every cycle is a little bit different, right? Not every cycle has a black swan event, at least the one of this capacity. But one thing that has been very consistent, guys, is the fact that every time Bitcoin's been in a bull market, it has been accompanied by loose monetary policy and a rallying stock market. This is, or I should say these are conditions that have always been met in bull markets. So to say that crypto is not tied to the stock market would just simply be an invalid statement. You can't really say that it is the only thing, right? It's not that traditional finance is the only thing that controls Bitcoin. I'm sure the real answer is it's a mixture of many things that control Bitcoin, right? It's not just the 4-year cycle. It's not just traditional finance. But, the answer is probably a lot more confusing than that. But one thing that is for sure is when we were in our 2017 bull market, the SPY was in an absolute rally. When we came into the bear market, the SPY was absolutely dumping. And then when we started rolling up here, the SPY was absolutely ripping. And during 2020, obviously, both assets dumped. And then they both went into rip-roaring bull markets in 2021, and then they both almost topped out at the exact same date before coming into another bear market. And here we are again with the SPY and the crypto absolutely following each other here. And I show that in the 2025 Bitcoin deep dive, guys. That video is going to be jam-packed with sauce. It's a little bit longer. It's like 20 minutes, but it is going to be absolutely packed with sauce. We take a look at all of this stuff, and I talk about what I'm expecting on Bitcoin, and we talk about my actual price predictions for the all-time high. So with information, right? Not just, I think we're going to 500K, guys, because it's bullish, right? That's not what we're doing, right? We're actually, hitting the charts. We're looking at key levels. We're actually looking at valid information and reasons why we could potentially hit those levels. So with that being said, that's kind of how it fits in, right? If the stock market absolutely nukes to the floor, we see some kind of crazy black swan event, and the stock market dumps, Bitcoin is very likely to follow that, or at least that's what we could tell from history. Does that mean that they won't decouple at some point? Absolutely not. They may. But up until this point, every bull market has been accompanied by a rallying stock market and looser monetary policy. I know a lot of people are scared. Jay Powell walked back his claims of aggressively cutting rates in 2025. I don't think it's that cut and dry, guys, and we talk about that in the video just a little bit to kind of touch on the whole interest rate situation. There we go. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see. Golden in the chat. What is going on, Golden? Welcome in, bro. He said when stocks crash, this time it's going to be because everybody is liquidating and buying Bitcoin. That actually is, shout out to Golden. That could be, right? If we do see that, that might be the case, right? Now, I do actually think that at some point in the future, guys, we are going to see a point where these decouple. I don't know if we're here yet. Maybe we are. It's hard to say. But I do think it's going to take a long time, and maybe there is a situation at some point in the future where people are kind of flocking to Bitcoin as like it's definitely a risk-on asset, but maybe eventually we do see it kind of fulfill itself as the store of value, right? And people start kind of, pushing into Bitcoin in that fashion. But Golden, shout out to Andy, said Golden spitting facts, baby. Shout out to Golden. Blockchain Brawler, what is going on? Good to see you in here, bro. And shout out to Golden. Thank you for the ping on the super chats. I'm going to check those super chats, guys. We're going to keep an eye here on Bitcoin. I'll do a little recap, and then we'll jump into the altcoins. But shout out to Blockchain Brawler. Said, what's going on? Frankie, shout out to you, man. He says, Happy New Year. Thanks for all you do for the industry. Shout out to Blockchain Brawler. I appreciate you so much. And shout out to Gen Z. I don't know if Gen Z's in chat. I'm not going to read it. But Gen Z's in the premium Discord, and he dropped me a really nice message. I was just telling him it's messages like that really, I'll keep it private, but I just want to, shout out to Gen Z, man. It's like, it's messages like he sent me is why we do this every single day. So shout out to Gen Z. If you're out here, bro, I love you. Gen Z is here. Shout out to Gen Z. Welcome in, bro. But let's see. Why can't I scroll in chat? What is going on? I need to read my super chats. Let's see. Shout out to Div X-Ray said, Frankie Candles, you rock, man. I suck at trading, but you save us, man. Thank you. Shout out to Div X-Ray. Hey, bro, listen to me. I appreciate you so much for saying that, but also just understand, I was so bad at trading for so long, bro. And I would make a valid argument that I probably was worse at trading than you are for longer than you're going to be bad at, right? I was bad at trading for longer than you probably. It would be hard to beat me because I am a thick-headed Sicilian, guys. I am a thick-headed Italian and Sicilian at that. I just have to touch the hot stove 100 times before I learned my lesson. But that also comes with like perseverance, right? I don't give up until I figure it out, even though I'm like my own worst enemy sometimes because I'm just thick-headed. But I will say I've probably blown up more accounts. I probably lost more money than most people in this chat. Sometimes people will humble you with their losses sometimes. But I will say, guys, that I was not winning all my trades, and I still lose trades from time to time. You guys know, and again, when I say lose, I don't mean it's like a depressing thing, and I'm like, oh, my God, I lost a trade, right? We get stopped out of trades. It's part of the game. You have to get stopped out of trades. We do not win every single trade. I would never, ever try to pass it up like we never lose trades. But I took a stab at a short position. I believe it was right here, right? We came up to the POC of this range, right? I'll try to get that. Let me pull this here. Where's that POC? I don't want to, I'm sorry, it was the value area high, not the POC. But we came up to this value area high. I believe that is where I took a short position, right? We got a little move to the downside. That got stopped out for a small loss, but our long position from down here at 92.8 wound up paying us out a little bit extra, right? So it's all about the risk management, but I can promise you, shout out to Div X-Ray, don't feel bad if you feel like you're bad at trading, bro, because there was a long time where I was in your shoes, bro. And if I can make it out and I can make money trading, I know for a fact everybody in this chat can, and that's why I'm so dedicated to teaching this as much as I can for free here on the YouTube channel and going live every day. So shout out to everybody in here. But real quick, shout out to Jesse. Thank you for the super chat, bro. I appreciate you so much. He says, not financial advice. Smash that like button, Mafia. 1,000 likes gets you a chance to win some free crypto. $100 in Solana to be exact. Shout out to Jesse. Thank you for saying that. We got Crypto Billy dropping a super chat. Thank you so much. Crypto Billy, you don't have to do that, bro. Thank you so much. He said, flat smack that like button. I didn't say it. Billy did. Shout out to Crypto Billy. I appreciate you for saying that, bro. And thank you for the super chat. Let's see. We got SA says, usually price follows the order book. 2,500 BTC buy. 1,500 BTC sell equals down. 2,500 BTC sell. 1,500 BTC buy equals up. Just follow the order book. Exchange. Need to make money. Shout out to SA dropping some sauce in the chat for the Mafia himself. Let's go. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you for the super chat, and thank you for dropping that little, I guess we'll call it sauce to go, our little to-go cup of sauce. Shout out to SA. Let's go, baby. And shout out to Name, says, well, thank you for the super chat, bro. He says, weekly expanding wedge gave me the target of 67K. Didn't make that up. Love you, Frankie. Yeah, shout out to Name. I know I wouldn't think you made it up at all, brother, because I can tell you right now, if I look, I could probably find you a key level at $67,000, and it doesn't mean that I won't look down there at some point, but I'm going to show, we talked about some of those bigger targets, $82,000 to $80,000, and then even down towards that 786. Maybe I'll touch on them in a second just to bring them up one more time. But yeah, bro, 67K, I mean, I'm sure there are some key levels down there for sure. And you said expanding wedge on the weekly. Maybe we could take a look at that. Shout out to Name, bro. Might be a good snipe. Maybe we'll take a look at that in just a second. Thank you for the super chat. And hey, I love you back, bro. I love you back. Thank you for being here. And we got Golden in the chat, dropping super chat, said, yeah, boss, on TradingView, I just discovered the chart type time. Oh, TPO. Yeah, let's go. Shout out to Golden. The time price opportunity that is automatically drawing volume profiles is lining up with the fixed volume profiles too. This is very cool. Shout out to Golden. Maybe you guys want to make a what do you call it? A TPO video on how to use these on TradingView with the mine looks a little different because I've changed the settings. Is everything okay? TradingView. There we go. So yeah, shout out to Golden. This is awesome. I love it. This is actually somewhat of a new feature. It's not super new, but it's somewhat new. And this is awesome that TradingView has actually added this because this like fits right in with how I trade. Now, I typically look at exo charts when I'm looking at my TPO profiles. As you guys see, sometimes I pull this up on the live stream. We cover this stuff a little bit more in the premium Discord. But if you don't have access to something like exo charts, which is a paid software, you could use this on TradingView. It is absolutely valid. So shout out to Golden, bro. Yeah, it's a nice find, a golden find, some people would say. Shout out to you, man. Thank you so much for the super chat. And as always, thank you for being such a big part of the Candle Mafia. And Robert says, Tima seems to be holding up well during this red crypto day. KuCoin listing coming up soon. Bullish. Shout out to Robert. Maybe we could take a look at Tima here, moving into the altcoins. And speaking of altcoins, guys, let's go ahead and drop your favorite altcoins in the chat. Rob, let's do like 3 requests. I'll go over Ethereum. We'll take a look at some of the big boys, and then we'll go into those requests as well. Shout out to Retro Mike Tech, said the one and only Retro Mike. Welcome in, bro. Hopefully that was your grand entrance. Welcome, RMT, to the chat. Let's go. Let's see. Show ETH. Shout out to Darren. Let's get it. B-Rad Crypto. What is going on? Welcome in, bro. Good to see you in here. He says ear. Is that a coin? Or or do I have something on my ears or something? I don't know. Shout out to B-Rad Crypto. Welcome in, bro. Good to see you. Let's see. All right, yeah. Drop those altcoins in the chat real quick, guys, and I will go ahead and cover Ethereum. Here we go. And then real quick, guys, before we move on from Bitcoin, I do just want to point out, I know I've covered this many times in the past, so I don't want to cover it too much. But again, if we lose this daily, just real quick, lose this daily here at 89,909, that's where I do think there's a potential possibility if we're unable to fake out the low of this range and just kind of and come back up. Once we lose that daily decisively, I think that is probably where we're going to wind up seeing that bigger drop down to $82,000 to $80,000 to that golden pocket / daily naked point of control confluence that we all know we have there. And then the 786 / daily and weekly naked points of controls are sitting. Do we have a weekly level down there? I believe we have something else down here as well. But this is sitting between about 76.4 all the way down to about 75K, or maybe actually all the way down to 73,821. But again, guys, if we saw that big at that point, right, this macro Fibonacci rejection very likely was the lower high before that continuation down. 82,000 is probably going to be a big target. Once we lose that, this is our last real golden target to the downside that I would be looking at. Once we start losing this blue box, guys, I am a little bit more concerned for Bitcoin, to be quite honest with you. Does this mean that it's another bear market? We have to endure another full bear market? It's going to be really hard to call that, especially right now. You have to understand, guys, sometimes you see unexpected stuff pop up in the market, right? Not everybody was expecting 2020 to be what it was. And, you know, all the analysis could have been spot on up in here. And then that black swan happens, and the analysis gets thrown out the window. This doesn't mean that you're in a full-blown bear market for, X amount of time, right? But it was just a quick washout before getting a recovery. So if we see some kind of black swan event, just understand, I just wouldn't necessarily consider the push down to 75K and the loss of 75K. I would start to question if it was a healthy pullback and start to question what we were actually seeing. Now, if it happens on a black swan or something, obviously that's going to be a different context, right? So it is going to be very, very dependent on what it looks like when we get down there. What's the situation? You know, is there bearish news? Like, what the heck is going on? But just keep that in mind. Those $82,000 to $80,000 zone, and then that 76 to 75 or 73.3 zone is down there. So just keep that in mind. Those are definitely key levels down below, and these are potentially healthy pullbacks before continuing up. So just keep that in mind, guys. But let's go ahead. I want to jump into Ethereum. I want to jump into some of the other altcoins, and we will keep an eye here on Bitcoin as we kind of hopefully get some kind of retracement so we can find a short position. But let's go ahead and jump on into the alt here. I'm going to start off with everybody's favorite, Ethereum, as your grandmother might call it. Some people call it ETH. But let's take a look at what we got going on here. And let me actually pull up the live stream chart. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Is this the chart that I want to look at? Nope. I'm going to take this range. I'll be honest with you guys. This is actually not the chart that I want to look at, but the levels are very, very similar. So I am going to just go ahead and pull this up. I actually haven't looked at this specific chart in quite some time, but I'm going to get rid of some of these key levels because these are old because we haven't looked at this chart in a long time. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull up the daily, and I'll take a look at this with you guys. But it's really basically the same exact situation that we were looking at. More recently, this volume profile is pulled a little bit deeper. This volume profile that we've been looking at is more like this, right? So obviously on Ethereum here, guys, just to kind of give you your bearings, right? We deviate out of this. We get an impulse. We look to get accepted into this range, go up to the POC, get up to the value area high. We have this deviation above the value area high. This is an overvalued asset. This is where you want to start looking for short positions. And then if you can get that pullback, you're going to be looking for price to get back into your value area high. Once you get stuck under that value area high, you look to go to the POC and potentially the value area low, which we did actually wind up front running here. We did not come all the way back down to the value area low, which was kind of nice, right? I mean, nobody's going to hate on holding that 786 as support. So we did get that full 786 retracement, and then what are we rejecting from here, guys? This is why the volume profiles, in my opinion, if there was any tool that if I had to give up all of my TA and only sacrifice all my TA for one tool, guys, it would probably be the volume profile, right? Like, would I miss the Fibonacci? Would I miss Market Cipher B? Absolutely. Would I miss Lux Algo? Absolutely. But when you look at this stuff, guys, like this is just how you mark out the value in the market, and this is how you predict the next moves on Bitcoin. In my own personal opinion, this is the best way to do it. You get above here, flip that low, go to the POC, go to the high, deviation above, and at this point, right, we got that ride back up off that 786 retracement, and where do we get the rejection from? Right from that value area high. Now, I am not actively trading Ethereum right now, but where do you look for those short positions? At the value area high. Right, this is typically where you look at it as an overvalued asset, and you look to reject that. And where do you expect price to go once you get accepted back into the range? You look to go back down towards that POC. And I will say right now, guys, we are starting to lose this POC, right, which is not the best situation. And now, what else was up here? Does anybody else know what else was up here? What else were we looking at up here, guys? Well, I'll give you a hint. It was very, very similar to what we were looking at on Bitcoin. Whoops. Come on. It was that golden pocket retracement. Right, so just like we had the $102,000 target on Bitcoin based off that golden pocket, we also had on the chart we were looking at yesterday, this is kind of a big range. We had daily naked points of controls, but for the most part, value area high, golden pocket is an area where you could potentially put that lower high in before potentially coming down and cracking the lows. If we crack the lows here, guys, and this was the lower high, I am going to be looking down towards about $3,000 as a massive key level of support. And if I just pull up... I will just pull up this chart because this is the one that we've been looking at. I'll hide the upper range. We'll hide the daily naked points of controls. Hide this, hide this. We'll pull up the current range, right? So this is basically the same exact thing. Whoops. Bear with me, guys. Bada boom, bada bing, bada boom. Okay, so this is the chart that we've been looking at. I don't know why I couldn't even think. If there's one word I can't think of, guys, you wouldn't think that word would be chart. But you have that value area high, that golden pocket. We even had that spider line flying up through here as well as we were working our way up to the value area high. And I think during the live stream, we were just barely about to come up to this spider line value area high golden pocket. Let me just come down here a little bit. Where were we? 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is our time here. What was yesterday? The 6th at 6th at 1 p.m. Okay, so yeah, we are already come up into that level. I guess as Bitcoin was hitting its golden pocket, Ethereum was kind of following there. But same thing here, right? Golden pocket, spider line, value area high, right? At that point, what are you expecting? You expect price to go back down to the POC, which obviously already happened. Let me mark that out as POC, right? Once you lose that POC, right? Just like this POC was our key level, was our key level to break above in order to see that value area high come in, which was perfect. Once you lose that level, yikes, and we're losing the spider line here. So if we remain below this POC at 34.98, I will be looking, I'm going to hide this tapped daily, right? I will be looking, get stuck under that POC. We'll be looking for that move down to about $3,000. So hopefully we can, if we do get that, guys, this is a massive level of support. We have our a very important golden pocket retracement. We have a daily and a weekly horizontal level, and I do believe we have we have a daily naked point of control just down there as well. So I will just say, if we are going to see that continuation down here on ETH, and the key level to stay below in order to get those lower prices is $3,500. We get stuck under there, we're going to be looking further down towards this zone of support, sitting at about $3,000. And coming from a market cipher perspective, we got that daily red dot printing, and we also have that 90-minute money flow crossing over into the red. This is similar to what I'll be looking at on Bitcoin to call for that larger move down. Money flow crosses over into the red. Money flow indicates the longer-term trend every single time, guys. So just remember that. Money flow crosses over into the red on the 90-minute, and what do you get? You get that little bounce and the continuation of that downtrend, right? So that's not really that great of a sign, to be quite honest with you. Your 16-hour red dot is confirmed. Two-day red dot looking to potentially print here. And your 3-day green dot, guys, I will say, as you know, yesterday on a lot of the altcoins, now I'm going to let price action play out here. I'm not necessarily taking this to the bank just yet, but yesterday we saw a lot of these green dots printing on a lot of the altcoins with money flow crossing to the upside. Both of these are pretty bullish signs, right? Especially the money flow. However, money flow indicates the trend. It does not mean you will just Lambo candle straight to the upside. So the fact that this green dot was completely stepped on by this new red dot on the 3-day, I don't love that. That is what we call a VWAP flop. The VWAP comes up and it rolls right back over, instantly stepping on that green dot with the red dot. This kind of shows me that bulls got really excited and then the bears just kind of scared, kind of trapped them and push them back to the downside. I don't love that as of right now, but money flow is still in the green here. So this is going to take a little bit of time to develop. We could easily still see, right, depending on what happens here, we'll have to see what happens tomorrow, right? But we could still potentially come down here into some local retracement levels to put in local higher lows and then continue to the upside, targeting about 39 to 39.65, right? But as of right now, just from an overall standpoint here, I will say with the daily, the 90-minute, it's not impossible. I would have to lean a little bit more bearish, looking for some lower prices. But even if we come down a little bit, that 3-day money flow may be able to hold up. So I'll have to keep an eye on that. These VWAP flips are just very, very choppy, or VWAP flops, I should say. But those are the key levels, right? Like, this is what we've been looking at, guys. We've been looking at this range ever since we were down here, saying if we imbalance, right, to the upside, we're going to look to get inside this range, flip that low to support, go to the POC, go to the high. What happens when you deviate? You want to look for shorts. I know nobody wants to look for shorts on the move up, but that's when you want to look for them, right? You come back in, go to the POC, look to almost go to the value area low, and then you come up. Like, this is just simply where you look for shorts at. It was our key level we were looking at yesterday, so not too shabby. So we'll see. Those are the key levels. Honestly, not much has changed here, right? I'm just updating you guys with what I expect to happen within the profile. But it's the same dang profile, the same dang levels. So hopefully you guys see that. And let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. And then again, overall, guys, I will just say, right, overall, still bullish, right? I'm not calling bear market, not calling everything going to zero, right? This is like the biggest struggle in a bull market when all like the newbie attention comes back. It is very hard, and I like to be very, very clear because I want the Mafia to actually make money. I don't want people thinking, even on Bitcoin, same thing with Ethereum, but like even on Bitcoin, like, oh no, guys, we could potentially come down here. Does not mean I'm bullish on Bitcoin overall, right? Again, even if it went down to $80,000, I am still not super bearish on Bitcoin, right? It's just looking at it as market turbulence, and we're looking at that as a potential opportunity. Again, it's not until I lose $75,000, $73,000 where I start to be concerned, right? We don't want to start losing these range highs, right? We start losing these range highs, we could get sucked into that area of balance and potentially see a big move down. But something like this, right? If the market really wanted to scare people, something like this, come down to that $80,000 level, right? Maybe you get a little wick to the downside, something like that, and then just send it to 150, 140K, right? That could be something that we wind up seeing, right? That would not be like totally out of the question. And I would be bearish in the term of like looking for a move down here, but I would not be bearish overall on Bitcoin. I'd still be bullish long term. And you guys will see when I drop that 2025 prediction video tomorrow, you guys will kind of understand my overall thoughts on Bitcoin going into 2025. But anyway, that's what we're looking at on Ethereum. Those are the key levels. Value area high respected perfectly. Let's jump into Solana real quick. And let's see here. All right, so bada boom, bada bing. Let's take a look here. So yeah, I mean, guys. Oh man, these key levels. Okay, so as we get the drop to the downside, let me just make sure we don't have a cleaner chart. We don't. Let me just triple check this. Hold on. This is our actual clean chart. So yeah, as we look here. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. Let me just drag all this stuff into a folder, right? So I can just organize it a little bit. And now we can take a clean look at Solana. So here we are, right? So we have our upper range, which I am actually going to get rid of this one. We have our main range down below. That is kind of old news because we're pretty far away from there. No, this is the, hang on. Bear with me, guys. I'm going to take a look at this chart. This is a bit cleaner. And this is the one that we look at most of the time. So, yeah, as we look at this, right, Fibonacci extension levels remain the same to the top here. I'm actually going to update these. Pull it from our absolute high to the low, right? Funny enough, we actually didn't get the rejection here. Solana did not get its push all the way up into that full Fibonacci retracement, right? We have that golden pocket right here, sitting at about $228, right? So that would be kind of that big zone to be looking for a massive lower high in at if we're going to put in like a huge downtrend. But we front ran it, right? You actually came, it looks like I would have to assume, yeah, pull it from that next lower high. That was the golden pocket we wound up getting pushed down from. But yeah, your key level of support here, like we're kind of hitting that key level of support. You have your anchored VWAP, which we finally broke back above. So this is actually, you're kind of just approaching this key level of support. Value area high, anchored VWAP sitting between about 201.46 to 197.213. And let me see here. I don't have naked points of controls here. But, yeah, value area high, anchored VWAP. You know, this is your best bet. Like, you want to hold above this level. If you lose this level, right, you start getting stuck back inside this value area high. Can't get back above it. Yikes. I don't like this only because there's no POC in the middle of the range. The POC actually is sitting down here. If I maybe if I pull this more local volume pro. Yeah, man, I'm not going to lie. I would love this, some kind of POC a little bit higher up, but even this local POC is pretty close to the range lows. Yeah, so I would say this is a previous value area high, so I would actually mark this out. I don't know why this isn't prev value area high. I'm going to save this as prev value area high. There we go. So you came down. You tested this previous value area high almost to the dollar. Once you broke back above that anchor VWAP, that was your best bet to continue up. But I would say if you do not hold this zone, like it would be nice to put in a higher low here and just yeet back up to that 786 and potentially beyond. But definitely the danger zone here. You lose this zone, probably going down to at least this value area high at 174, 130. Lose that. I mean, you have your value area low and POC sitting all the way down here between about 201 and 132. I'm sorry, 141. I don't know why that. Oh, I know what happened there. Highlighted this whole white box. But sitting between about 140.16 all the way down to about 133.12. So again, just like Bitcoin, right? We're looking at that overall volume profile. And again, like, I mean, maybe that previous value area high can hold you up. Yeah, you already got the bounce off the golden pocket. 786 sitting here at 154. So, yeah, I mean, if you lose this, I'm expecting more downside for Solana. Looking down to 174.75, 154.29, and then eventually, 140 almost. So, that's what I'd be looking at. And to be quite honest with you guys, let's take a look here. Daily red dot printing. Money flow back in the green, though. This is a little bit choppy in my opinion. But, yeah, daily money flows back in the green, but you have your red dot. Let's check that 90-minute. Yeah, 90-minute money flow, just like on Ethereum, crosses over into the red, indicates that continuation of the downtrend. But you're definitely approaching support here, like 201 to 197, or 201.46 to 197.21. That is, I mean, this is your key zone. Lose that, I'd be looking for a bigger drop. Take a look at some of these higher time frames. Your 4-day green dot is confirmed. 5-day red dot printing. Technically, your money flow is coming out here. That's not the best look, but. This is going to take a long time to develop, right? Daily money flow, very common to see these fake outs in bull markets. But right now, I'll be honest, guys, in these bull markets, when you're in aggressive trends like this, a lot of times money flow can fake you out, at least on these time frames, right? You just fake out, come back into the green. So again, I would pay more attention to the key levels. Lose the anchored VWAP at 197.32. I'd be looking for a bigger drop down with a key level at 173.65. Shout out to Jesse. Thank you for the super chat, bro. He says, so much people in the stream and still no 1,000 likes. How the F? Shout out to Jesse. Thank you for saying that, bro, guys. Don't forget to smash that like button. Every 100 likes we get gives you guys some extra chances to win some free crypto. And if we get 1,000 likes, we'll be giving away let's up it, $150 in Solana. Let's go. Shout out to Wick. Said, shout out to Wick589. Said, to be honest, I just liked. So, yeah, we got to push those likes a lot more, guys. Smash that like button. I want to start using this lower third a lot more. We'll set it on an automatic timer. Let's see. I almost forgot to smash the like button, too. Oh, my God. Smash the dang like button. Smash the dang like button, guys. Smash it. Smash that dang like button. That's the smash the like button sound, guys. But anyway, let's go ahead and continue on here. We'll go ahead and jump on into our, Chemistry Bro said, was that a plastic straw? You know turtles exist, right, Frankie? Shout out to Chemistry Bro. No, it's glass. It's glass. I'm just kidding. I do have glass straws, though. Shout out to Mrs. Candles. They almost chip my teeth every single time. But anyway, let's continue on here. Shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob. I know you probably dropped that altcoin list 1,000 times, and I just oh, no. Shout out to somebody already pinned it to the top of the chat. So that's what I'd be looking at on Solana, guys. Ooh, we don't want to lose this. We're probably going to see more downside if we do. But let's take a look here. Actually, let me check the 4-hour real quick on Solana, or Solonzo, as James Kramer likes to say. So, yeah, maybe we can get a little retracement. But, yeah, I would this is definitely your key zone of support on Sol. Let's take a quick look at XRP. I know everybody always wants to see XRP. Now, as you guys know, yesterday, we were looking at XRP. Let me pull up that chart. Bada boom, bada bing. So here we are, right? Now, we know that on XRP, we are within our larger volume profile, right? And funny enough, we're actually talking about some kind of dump here. And like I said, guys, on Bitcoin, right, it wasn't until I got home later last night that I saw that we had these bearish confirmations, at which point it was a little too late for me to enter a trade, at least on Bitcoin. But on XRP, I will say, right, like we were talking about a potential like flash crash to the downside here on XRP and like where we were going to be looking for support. And we did wind up getting a flash crash, which again, you know, yesterday on Bitcoin without those bearish confirmations, it was kind of just like, hey, if we get a flash crash, we wound up getting it, which is very interesting here. But I will say this, guys, grand scheme of things, higher time frame, take a look at the daily, take a look at the higher time frames, right? We are still within our larger range, right? Value area low all the way down here at $1.60. Right? This is key support. If we even got a drop all the way down to this value area low, this is not necessarily bear market, right? This is still just our macro profile. And to be honest, like right now, you know, could be some kind of a bull flag, right? Could be some kind of, depending on how you draw it, right? I guess you couldn't really draw this as a pennant, but, you know, it could be a bull flag. It could be, you know, just to push down to the value area low before we look for another long setup. But in the grand scheme of things, bigger key levels of support are going to be POC at $1.89, right? Or I'm sorry, POC sitting at $1.90, right? With the golden pocket leading you down to about $1.83. That's a zone. 193, 183, right? Lose that. We're going to be looking down towards the 786 value area low confluence, right? And that would be sitting between 162 and 158. Very simply put. And, yeah, we didn't really technically, yeah, we barely front ran. We hit our zone, right? We hit our zone, which was the value area high and the golden pocket retracement. But we actually just front ran that golden pocket, which is interesting. But that's probably because this is the Bitstamp chart. If I pull up XRP on the Bybit chart, is that what this is? Let's do XRP, and we'll pull up the Bybit contract chart. Did we hit the golden pocket on this chart? We did not. We did not. Did we hit it on the... It's got to be one dang... it's got to be one exchange that hit it. But yeah, not often that you front run this golden pocket on every single chart. Oh, God, front ran it by like $1, man. Where is it? Where is it? Let's see, the contract chart. This has got to be it. If there's one that hit it, it's got to be this Binance perp chart. No. All right. Well, we front ran it on every single chart. But as you guys know, right, our key level of support above, which still does remain, is the golden pocket 786 value area high confluence sitting between 249 and 268. Once we get above that 786 at 268, right, that's our doorway into that all-time high and potentially new all-time highs, right? But until we break that level, it's very similar to Bitcoin, right? Until we break that level, this is key resistance, right? Now, I do want to pull up a local range here in case we want to look for some trades on XRP. And you guys know we were looking at some very key levels yesterday. And what were they? They were simply sitting down here within our local profile. Golden pocket retracement, which, dang, man, XRP be front-run those golden pockets, man. What the heck? What the heck? Well, anyway, golden pocket sitting right here at about 224. Could pull it to here potentially. There's a few different golden pockets you could pull here. I'd probably be looking at this one. But this is sitting between 225 and 222, right? And then your 786 and your value area low confluence, is. Give me that dang line. Give me that dang line. There we go. That 786 value area low confluence is sitting between 217 and 212. Come down to the golden pocket. Could be a scalp long opportunity. But again, taking a look at our higher time frames, money flow, kind of unclear, to be quite honest. Kind of unclear. 10-hour in the red, 12-hour crossing into the red, 16-hour crossing into the red, and the daily starting to come out here. Still kind of hard to say, to be quite honest, with money flow. But again, with the key levels, yeah, I would say golden pocket, 786. These are the next two levels with the value area high confluence. This is the local range, right? And then I will be honest here, let me go ahead and change this blue because that is not resistance. You know, there's a few different levels here, right? We can look for the golden pocket. We lose that. Look to go to the 786 value area low. Even if we get a deviation, I will look at that as a potential long opportunity. And we can't forget, right? I'm going to give a little bit of a freebie here, right? I'll just give you this. If we have some lows here, right, we could potentially Like, all these lows have not been cleaned, right? So if we do come down and we do wind up breaking below this range, I would love for a swing failure pattern into that golden pocket. That would be saucy. If we can get a big swing failure pattern down into that. Now, I would like to see that happen, right? This would be the level I would want to swing fail right here. But the more of these lows that we could take out, the stronger, in my opinion, if you get that swing failure pattern, right? Maybe you get a little SFP a little bit, right? That would still be a nice potential long opportunity. But if you come down here and you clean out that low and then you take out that next low into that golden pocket, like that would be very, very nice if you can get an SFP like that on a higher time frame. But these are the local levels. We come back down to the, potential longs here, come back down to the low of the range. This is the volume profile I would watch. This is always where we look for longs based off the volume profile. And then if we lose this range, I would look for SFPs and potential swing failure patterns down here. I said SFPs and potential swing failure patterns as if they're two different things, but they're not. So yeah, we'll see what happens. And hopefully, this stuff's not going to go to zero. It's probably all going to lie in the hands of Bitcoin, to be quite honest. But let's go ahead and move on to our next altcoin, which is going to be Polkadot, guys. Let's go ahead and take a look at Polkadot. This is I know everybody is so scared. Everybody is so scared on Polkadot. Let's take a look here. Let's go ahead and hide this. Take a sip of that Aztecian Cactus Moss Water real quick. And let's take a look here. Don't forget to smash that like button, guys. Don't forget to smash that like button. $150 in Solana if we get 1,000 likes on tonight's live stream. Smash it up, baby. Smash it up. But let's see here. Take a look at that daily. So, all right. So the overall grand scheme here, guys, on Polkadot, minus this little local range. Pretend that's not there, right? Lower accumulation, bull market, range. Once we impulse out of this range aggressively, we could look to get accepted into this upper value area, and that's where I would expect the bigger journey, right? It's not going to be a Lambo candle probably. It'll probably be like a long, kind of complicated, scary, freaky journey, right? But once you get above that value area low, that's your major doorway to higher prices sitting at about a 14, 13. Impulse out of here, that's the target. That's the main target. We have these local levels here, but that's the main target. I just want to give you guys context into what we're looking at. We trade rotations of value. We have value here and value here. So naturally, once we get imbalance, we're going to be looking for price to do what it does most of the time, which is seek out previous areas of balance, which is simply sitting up here. That's my long-term outlook on Polkadot. At this point, right, we got that pull, that rip up, right? Shout out to the premium Discord. We've plotted that short squeeze at 441 before that squeeze started, but we wound up getting that drop back down into the range. We are rejecting our value area high, guys. I will say this. A lot of these coins have gone back into their range and are getting resistance on the value area high. So, this is still our key level that we got to get out of, just like it was here, just like it was here, just like it was here, right? We are just continuing to reject these levels, and I would assume this is probably your local golden pocket 786. Nope, it wasn't. But this is your key zone. This is $7. Let me get it exact here. $7.84. We got to get out of there if we want price to come back up into this next area of balance. If we keep hitting our head here, right, we might just kind of flag out. And then we could be on our way back down to the bottom of the range, right? POC is obviously your next key level down there, which is sitting at about 640. But once you lose that POC, and again, once we really get accepted into the range and lose that value area high, you're looking for the POC and eventually that value area low of the range. Now, if we pull our 786 golden pocket, right, from this low to the high, you guys can see we did hold that 786 retracement locally, right? We came down, we got that 786 retracement. So again, if we could stay above this POC and break out here, that would be a nice place to put in a higher low. But once we lose that POC 786, we're probably going to get sucked down towards that value area low. Now, if I pull that full Fibonacci retracement, you do get not the best confluence, if I'm being honest. But your 786 down here is a level that you're going to want to be keeping an eye on. This is, because if you look at this as a full retracement, if you don't hold that golden pocket, you're going to look to get down towards that 786, right? So let me go mark this out as a 786, right? So this would be a level to look at about 537 in case you do go for that full 786 retracement. But at that point, you're getting pretty dang close to that value area low. So I would rather see that value area low tapped. Could be a wick, right? Could be a situation where you do tap that value area low, but close the candles above on the higher time frames for a nice bounce to the upside. But those are the key levels down below. First main first main level, POC 640. Lose that, you're looking down towards 537, and then you lose that, you're looking down towards the value area low. So I would kind of mark this out as like this is your key zone of support that you're holding right now, and then come on down here, you have a large zone between your 786, and I'll even hide this local range here real quick. You know, you have the 786 value area low down below as your key zone, right? We don't hold this, probably coming down here. And these blue numbers are that box. So if you want to copy those on your chart, go ahead and grab those blue numbers. So there we go. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Oh God, I'm in an old chat here. I got my chat stopped moving. All right, let's see. Yo, Frankie, does the POC work with the 4-hour and the 8-hour using the PVP? Yes. Shout out to Mike Ramirez. Great question, bro. When you're looking at a periodic volume profile, it is the exact same tool. It is just being used differently, right? A periodic volume profile, right? If you use the PVP, right? We can come in here and type in PVP, some free sauce for the Mafia here. Periodic volume profile. All this does is, very simply put, you know, mine has custom settings, right? So I'll just change this to default. But all the PVP does, all right, if I just reset these settings and let it load, there we go, right? All that PVP does is give you a volume profile off a specific period, right? So right now, the period is set to 1 bar, right, or 1 candle. So this gives me a volume profile on each individual candle, right? If I zoom in enough, you can see on all these candles, there's a little volume profile in here with a POC. Right, so this is the tool that I use, right? If you pull up that periodic volume profile, the only setting you have to change is extend POC to the right, and this is an easy way for you to find naked points of controls on your chart, which you know are very key levels that I like to look at for trades, right? Whether it's support or resistance. So this is how I find my weekly and daily naked points of controls on TradingView. More often than not, I am pulling it up and getting those levels from something like ExoCharts or an order flow software. I do find these are, it does pull live information from the exchange, so I do find them to be a bit more accurate, but these are definitely valid levels to look at for MPOCs. But that's all that does, right? It's if I were to change this period to a day, it's just going to pull a volume profile. Oh, it's because I'm on the weekly chart. Here we go. Come on. There we go, right? So if you change that period to 1 day, all this is doing is pulling a volume profile over each day of price action, right? So every 24 candles here, come out. Every 24 candles, we get a volume profile. And this is obviously not how I typically have my volume profile set up, right? I like to have my value area low, value area high. I like to turn off the histogram box, right? So I'm not going to change all the settings here, but you can see, right? You change the period to 24 hours, you have a volume profile on every 24 hours, right? If you have it on 1 candle, you get a volume profile for every candle. So there you go. That's periodic volume profile. So this works. Volume profiles will work no matter what you're using them for or however you're using them, because all it's doing is taking the volume being traded within a specific area of price action and plotting the levels based off of where majority of that price action was traded. Right, so it's always going to give you valid levels. Whether you pull your fixed range volume profile, like, right, let's pull up a random. Let me just pull up a random chart here. Right, whether you're pulling your volume profiles over ranging price action, right, or you're pulling your volume profile from, you know, just randomly, right? All these levels are derived from volume, right? So it, you know, I don't recommend pulling it randomly, but it's just all this is telling you. If you're using a 70% value area, right, like I am, right, all it's telling me is within this price action that you've selected, 70% of the volume was transacted between the value area low and the value area high, and the area where the most volume was transacted was the POC. That's what the volume shows you, right? So there you go. Volume profile, and then if you look at the visible range volume profile, right, or the VPVR, as I like to call it, right, this is showing you the exact same thing. Right, the VPVR shows you the exact same thing as the fixed range volume profile, as the periodic volume profile. They're all volume profiles. They all do the same thing. They just work a little bit differently, right? Like the visible range shows you the profile of only the visible candles on the chart. So when you zoom in, the volume changes. When you zoom out, the volume changes again. Because when you zoom out, now you're incorporating all these extra candles, right? When you zoom in, now we're only looking at these candles. So it has to change the volume adjustment. It has to adjust the volume being read, right? Because now we're not taking those other candles into account. So it's all the same stuff. And there's a million different ways to use each individual tool. So with that being said, let's see. Let's see. Yeah, what is going on in chat? Shout out to let's see. So there you go. Hopefully that answers your question. Short from 107.8. Shout out to AZTV. Let's go. Hey, bro, AZ. Hey, you're short from higher than I am, bro. You're short from higher than I am. I'm short from 106 something. I don't know the exact dollar amount. Let's actually see. Bada boom, bada bing. Where is my... Yeah, where's my... Well, let's just do this. 106.4 to be exact. 106.4. So shout out to you, bro. You beat me to it. You beat me. I'm just kidding. Shout out to AZTV. Congratulations on your beautiful entry, bro. And we'll see if we, bro. Hopefully for our shorts, hopefully we could just get this thing to continue on down. But I'll be honest. I would rather see a pump. Emotionally, I would much rather see a pump here, guys. But again, the emotions are never going to change my opinion on the charts. Let's see. Shout out to Almighty Zeus. Said Bitcoin going up or down from here. Shout out to Almighty Zeus. That is simply just a loaded question. It depends on what you're looking for. Are you looking for up or down over the next 5 minutes? Up or down over the next hour, 2 hours, day, week, month, year, 2 years? Because my answer will change every single time, right? So up or down from here, it depends on the context of the question. If you let me know, I'll give you my thoughts. So there you go. This week. Okay, so this week I would say, let's see here, right? So it is going to actually depend on if, pull up our major range here, if we can reclaim this key level between 97.3 and about 97.7. If we cannot get back above this POC, anchored VWAP, and hold that support, we are very likely going to get stuck under this POC and see a move to the downside. There is really nothing on the chart that you could ever look at and just be like, it's definitely going up from here, or definitely going down from here. There's no indicator, there's no trader, there's no analyst, there's nobody that could ever just say where exactly it's going to go. It's really always going to be an if this then that statement. But for me, to be quite honest, for the rest of the week, if we see that 90-minute money flow continue into the red and we can't get back above that key level, more specifically, bada boom, right? More specifically, get above 98.5, right? We get above this POC because at the end of the day, through the laws of the volume profile, you lose the value area high. The next likely place for price to go is the POC. We see that play out perfectly. Now we know if we can't get back above, if we keep testing hitting our heads on this POC and we can't get back above it, that's going to be more likely a situation where we see that move down to the value area low. Right, so that it is going to be really dependent on what we see kind of what comes up next here. But we have to get above this POC at 97.4. If we can't do that, I would say bearish. I would say to the downside for sure. But my personal plan, really all I can do is tell you exactly what I'm doing. And for me personally, I am looking at things in terms of this volume profile. Right, if we come down to this golden pocket, that's our first chance to get a really big bounce. Right, second chance would be down here to the 786. Once we lose that, I'm looking down towards about $90,000, right? $90,500 to start. So there you go. Bada boom, bada bing. I wish it was as easy as just knowing it's going up from here, guaranteed. Although we are very close. We are right way more than we're not. Like that $102,000 target coming in almost to the dollar was perfect. But again, there's never a situation where I sit up here and say, guys, there's a guarantee that we're 100% going up to this level. We could say if it's a high probability or not, but it's really hard to know for sure exactly what will happen. But shout out to you, bro. Hopefully that helps you out. He says, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. No problem, almighty. Hopefully that helps you out. And now you got the key levels as well, bro. So shout out to you. Thank you for being here. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. All right, let's continue on here. So for Polkadot, yeah, we took a look at Polkadot, right? I think we wrapped that one up. So yeah, that's our key levels here. POC golden pocket, value area low 786. Let's see, bada boom. Rob is out of here. Shout out to Rob. Thank you for being here, bro. I appreciate you for stopping by. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for everything you do for the Candle Mafia, bro. You are the absolute best, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night, bro. Let's see, can we check out Reef? We can check out and take a quick look at Reef, not Reek. Sometimes it reeks like Reef in the city. I'm just kidding, guys. Anyway, let's continue on here. Binance. Let's see. Is this the right chart? Man, I'll be honest. This chart's kind of ugly. Wow. Interesting. This is ugly. This chart looks gross. I don't necessarily mean gross as in like bearish, but it doesn't look that great. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I too mean bearish. You got like one money flow crossover into the green here on the weekly. It gave you a pretty massive bounce of about 1,400%, and then basically dumped back down to almost nothing, right? This is going to be a hard chart to mark up. I'll do my best for you, bro. I forgot who asked for this. But yeah, this chart is ugly. Yikes. Yeah, this thing is gross. Yeah, I mean, there is not a lot that I can really do with this. Let me try my best, though. Let's take a look here. Take a look at the VPVR. Yeah, I got there's no profile I can really pull. I could try to pull some naked points of controls. Let's see. Yeah, I'll try my best here. This is a pretty hideous chart, to be quite honest with you. Let's see. All right, so we got a weekly MPOC sitting here. Where are we? MPOC weekly, and then we have another one right here. So those are your two key naked points of controls, at least on the weekly. Daily, I mean, even this is just you got so many naked points of controls here. This is I hate this chart. I'm not going to lie. This is miserable. I don't know. I don't know if I could really do anything with this. I would say this, right? You're not really holding any key fib levels. I would definitely say 0.000717 is a key level of support. I would also say your key level of resistance is 0.002057. Other than that, I mean, this thing has almost never been in the green on money flow. And the last time it was in the green, it basically just nuked back to the floor. You're not holding any significant retracement levels, which is kind of a bummer. Again, I don't know. This is just from a chart perspective, this is difficult. So the best context I can give you, which again, this whole pump and dump action here is a little bit suspicious to me. So I take this with a grain of salt, but I'm going to do my best here. I'm trying my best. POC value area high. This is, as I finally start to make a little bit of sense of this. Let me see this fib. Yeah, it's fib. Fibs are just out of control all over the place. I would say weekly naked point of control, value area high, 786, golden pocket confluence. This is a pretty big range. You can separate these into separate ranges as well, right? You can look at one here and then just look at the 786 by itself. But these would be the key levels of resistance. If I had to find an area of balance, and you guys can see how I just kind of sniped this previous range, pulled those levels to the right, and you could see as we deviated massively above that price, above that level, right, or that range, we got the massive drop down, acceptance back into the volume profile, back to the POC, back to the low, back to the POC, back to the value area high, and now you could look at this as a potentially undervalued asset. Again, this is pretty wonky price action, so take this for what it's worth. You're knocking your head right here on that key level of resistance, which is the value area low. This is key resistance until proven otherwise. If we get above that value area low at 1249, I'd look for a move to the POC at 1517. Flip that level. You can come up here to the higher time frame key level of resistance. But this is pretty much the volume profile I would go off of. If you got a stronger rejection here and wound up just getting a bigger trend down, weekly naked point of control at 717 would be your best bet as a key level of support. Probably wouldn't want to lose that, because if you lost that, I don't know how low this thing will go, to be quite honest. But hopefully you could just work yourself back into this volume profile and then come back up into these next key levels of resistance. So it's turned from a very difficult chart to read, cutting through some of this noise, finding that area of balance. You can see how well these levels are respected. So that's what I'd look for. Flip this value area low for a move to the upside. If you reject, key level down here. So there you go. Hopefully that helps you out. Have to jump and go make dinner. Thanks for the wisdom, Rob, and happy birthday. Happy to be a subscriber. Shout out to Almighty Zeus. Welcome in, bro. Thank you for being here, and thank you for showing love to Rob and the mods. We appreciate you, bro. Let's see. Shout out to Wick589 said, Reef is literally Al Yankovic asking if he makes good music. Shout out to Wick589. And shout out to Weird Al. Wick, is it true that you wrote some lyrics for Weird Al? We know you're a famous poet, and I know you've worked for some famous artists. Was Al one of those people? Let me know. But anyway, let's continue on. Shout out to Chemistry Bro, said the 24-hour volume on Reef is less than 3 mil. I just trade something else. Yeah, as far as like trading, this is not a chart I would be interested in trading at all. Good point, Chemistry Bro. I'm assuming you're looking at this more as a buy and hold, but I would not look to trade this. This is super choppy, super weird. Again, like super hideous looking chart. I like charts that respect the TA very well. They're nice and clean. You have clean ranges. But yeah, that's what I'd be looking at if I were to analyze Reef, because I just did. So there you go. Let's see. Wick is our poet. Shout out to Jesse. Absolutely. Wick is our poet, 100%. And he's dang good at it. I'm not going to lie. Let's see. Bada boom. Jesse says, this is so funny. Shout out to Jesse. Let's see. Ada. Let's take a quick look at Ada. Shout out to Antonio. What is going on, bro? He says, how you doing, Frankie? How you doing, bro? How you doing? Welcome in. Let's take a look at Cardano, and let's jump in here. So, for Cardano, I believe this is the chart we were looking at yesterday. Let me just make sure. Well, there's two charts that we're looking at here on Cardano. Let's take a look at this daily and see which one we want to look at. I'm probably more inclined to look at this one. Let me see this. Yeah, this one's a little bit more local, but higher time frame, right, for Cardano. Let me get rid of these brush tools. Higher time frame, you got your lower accumulation. We got the breakout. We've attempted to get back into our value area low of our macro range. We've gotten above that key level of resistance, right, so I can get rid of this purple box and get rid of that monthly naked point of control, and we'll leave that doorway to higher prices because that is the value area low of the range. So I will say, I don't know, man. I mean, we hold from the high to the low. We're just rejecting that golden pocket. Right now, hopefully, we have to hold this value area low. If you held this value area low, technically your doorway to get a move into your POC and then your value area high would still be open. However, the fact that we're putting in a lower high here on that golden pocket does keep us at a possibility of putting in that lower high and getting a continuation to the downside. So like from this context, we are attempting to get into this upper profile. We have to hold above this value area low to see that POC and then flip it and see the higher prices up here at about $1.80, right? If we lose this, might not be so pretty. So we're going to come on over to this chart. If there's that golden pocket, 786 value area low. We're rejecting the golden pocket. Lost the POC. Key level down below, in my opinion, right? Based off of the volume profiles and this golden pocket 786 retracement, I would be looking down towards this value area low, golden pocket confluence. Turn that blue. Daily. No daily horizontals down there. You do have a daily horizontal right here in confluence with the 786. We'll cross that bridge when and if we get there. But, local term, I'd be looking at this. You don't know if you're going to reject that golden pocket or the 786 value area high. It wound up being that golden pocket. We've lost the POC. So if we continue down, key zone of support, in my opinion, is going to be between 95 and 91 cents. We lose that, I'm looking closer down towards about 84 to 82 cents. Hopefully, we could just hold this value area low, right, and get a move back up to the high, and then get above that 786 and yoink off to higher highs. But these are definitely going to be the levels I'm looking at. 2-hour money flow is coming to the downside. 4-hour money flow is coming to the downside. You're probably going to see some short-term noise in here, if I have to be honest, right? Like 3-hour green dot, 2-hour green dot, even your 1-hour green dot is printing. So maybe you get a little retracement here. But this is the profile to look at, right? I'm actually going to get rid of this golden pocket. I'll leave the 786 because that is still valid. But I'll take off that golden pocket to clean up the range. So right now, you're kind of just in no man's land. We got above the low, flipped it to support, went to the POC. Now we're losing the POC. Got to get above that to see the value area high. As long as we stay under the POC, we're going to be looking towards that value area low. Very simply put. So there you go, guys. That's what I'm looking at on Cardano, Solana, XRP, Reef, DOT, Ethereum. I don't know. We looked at a bunch of other stuff as well. But guys, with all that being said, I think that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. I appreciate every single one of you guys for sticking around here and hanging out with us till the end of the stream. We saw that $102,000 level tapped on Bitcoin to the upside. We knew there was a high probability of putting a lower high in there. We got that bearish confirmation. We've gotten the drop back into the range. Now you guys have those key levels. I'll even just show them very quickly here once again, just to break things down nice and simple for you without getting too nitty-gritty. Coming on up to the daily. Very simple, guys. All these ups and downs, people like to freak out. Oh, my God, we're coming down. Oh, my God, we're going up. Oh, my God, we're coming down. But with our volume profiles, we know, right? We know the context of the market. Overvalued, 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 undervalued, undervalued, right? Now, we've deviated from the high, got accepted back into the range, and we're now playing with this POC. If we cannot reclaim the POC, we very well might not be able to make it out of here, right? We might get rejected because once you lose that POC and can't get back above, you're going to be anticipating the value area low, getting closer to about 90,500 all the way down to about 89.8, right? Remember where we have that confluent daily level, right? Right here. That's those are the major levels I'm looking at. If we hide that and look at the local levels for the shorter term stuff, this is what I'm looking at. Right? If we don't wind up reclaiming the POC that we just looked at, golden pocket, daily naked point of control is NPOC of this range is the first major level of support that I'd be willing to take some scalps at. Lose that, we're going down to the value area low 786. Right? In which case, again, if we lose that, right, we are simply looking at our major range. Right? This is the grand context of the market, guys, and that rejection off that major final boss resistance level we looked at yesterday, unfortunately, does look like it wants to be strong resistance. But with all that being said, guys, that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. Thank you guys so much for sticking around till the end of the stream. Smash that dang like button. If we hit 1,000 likes, I don't know what we're at all. We could have 200 likes. We could have 7,000 likes. I have no idea. But if we hit 1,000 before the music ends, we will be giving away $150 in Solana on Friday night's live stream. And as you guys know, every time we hit these like goals on a live stream, it all adds up, and we give it all away on Friday nights. So make sure you guys are here on Friday to win the giveaways. We're going to try to change the way we do our giveaways as well, but we'll get into that in a later date, guys. Remember, 2025 prediction video coming out tomorrow morning, so keep an eye out for that. Make sure you have notifications set. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And with all that being said, that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. I will see you guys tomorrow, same place, same time, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Probably going to drop a market update or maybe go live during the day. I don't know, but I'll see you guys tomorrow. Definitely same place, same time right here, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's all I got. Frankie Candles out. Hasta pasta. I love each and every single one of you. That's all I got. Bing bong.
Look what's next for me, Joe. I'm gonna get that second bell. Where the is it? They should have had them two bells ready. Spit shine for me.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, don't know what is in me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah.
Well, amongst all the possum talk in the chat, this has nothing to do with possums, guys. I just want to take a quick look at Total 3 with you guys, just to give you guys some levels, because we did not actually look at this earlier in the stream, but I do just want to update you guys with the levels on Total 3. Now, obviously, you guys know in the long term, we have gotten our move through our volume profile, which we did anticipate, right? And then on that pullback, we were looking at that Golden Pocket 786 retracement. This could be a low, right? This could be one of those lows before, but as you guys know, the key level of resistance on Total 3 was exactly the same technical level as Bitcoin, right? It is the full Golden Pocket 786 retracement from the high to the low here, and you could see that rejection did come in at that Golden Pocket, and we are starting to get a push to the downside here. Now, I will say, if we do continue down here, key level of support, value area high, 964.45B for Billy, and then get shout out to Crypto Billy, get a acceptance into that range, guys, looking for that move down to the Golden Pocket POC at 914, and then if we lose that, you have your 786, but at the end of the day, your real big level, hopefully we don't ever have to see this level come in, but if things are going to get super scary, I would be looking down towards that value area low at between 800 and 781. But again, we'll cross that bridge when and if we have to get there. Locally, though, you have the value area high, the POC, and then hopefully maybe we just want to come down here and tap this 786. We did only wick down to it at this point, but you know, right now, value area high, Golden Pocket POC are going to be those next levels of support on Total 3. But again, in the grand context of things, guys, like nothing really is super scary here. So take a deep breath if you're nervous, and if we're going to go to zero, guys, I will be the first person to tell you. I'll make a market update. I'll even text to send smoke signals out, carrier pigeons, however we have to get to the Mafia, guys. I will make that happen. So with all that being said, that's all the time I got for tonight's live stream. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Same place, same time, right here, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Smash the dang like button. That's all I got. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong!
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the roll, here we go, yeah we winning by a landslide, never see me coming on my landmine, yeah I ain't taking orders in command like, yeah you about to see me on demand like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't ever going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the roll, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the roll, here we go.
Hey, Billy, I see you super chatting, bro. Thank you so much. You don't have to do that, Billy. I love you. Hasta pasta, guys. Bing bong.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the roll, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the roll.